And welcome, everybody. How's it going?
8 p.m. on a Friday, y'all rock.
I know, Friday 8 p.m. panel, and you guys are here. Y'all are amazing. So thank you for being here, and welcome to Adaptation to Advantage, How Women and Fandom Work Together. I'm Alex Catherine. I'm going to be your moderator for today. I am the host of The Welcome Party, which is a Monday night Twitch stream, 7:30 p.m. at twitch.tv/Perception Studio. And I am also a TTRPG actual play voice. And I have been lucky enough to be on Miss Jenna's podcast, Portrait of a Fangirl. So that's what brought me here today. And I'm also going to have the panelists introduce themselves. We're going to start on this end and work our way down. But Jenna, skip and go last, please. Cool. Go ahead and start us off.
Hi, my name is Laura Sturtbull. I'm a journalist and thought editor of the Nerds of Color. So, yay!
Hi, I'm Sabine Fahim. Thank you. I'm an actor and a content creator, and I work towards getting more inclusion representation for South Asians and hijabis in entertainment and marketing. And I do that through my style and fashion and event stuff. And yay, I'm so excited to be here with all of these amazing people. Look at that gorgeous panel.
Hey everyone, I'm Victoria Malay, and I am a writer and producer working primarily out of LA in the film industry.
Hi, my name is Kaden Phoenix. I am a writer and director, and I also create comic books that are Latina superheroes as well as modern-day princess adventures.
Yes!
And I'm Jenna Wren. I am the host and executive producer of Portrait of a Fangirl podcast. Thank you. And I have had the pleasure of interviewing all of these ladies, so this is a real amazing moment for me, and thank you everybody for coming.
Yes.
Now, before we jump into this panel, I'm sure you guys are all here for these amazing ladies, but Jenna, tell us a little bit about that podcast that brought everybody together.
Wow. Well, it really all started one day when I got involved with Temple Geek, and I said to our editor-in-chief, Monica, that I wanted to be more involved and wanted to take something on. I didn't know exactly what, and she said, I have an idea that I've been throwing around in my head, and what do you think about this? Portrait of a Fangirl was originally a Temple Geek web series, and she said, I've been thinking for a while about turning this into a podcast. I think it would be a really interesting format for it, where we can talk about how fandom empowers women and they go on to create professional jobs. So I was immediately, let's do it. And even though I had zero entertainment experience, zero podcast hosting experience, was literally just working my legal day job, Monica had the faith in me, and we started the podcast not even 2 years ago. And here we are now at San Diego Comic-Con.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I wanted everybody to kind of have an idea of where this panel came from and what the mindset is going into it. That way we're all kind of on the same page and looking through that same lens. So I'm going to start us off with Miss Kaden. And how has your engagement with fandom empowered you professionally?
Oh, that's a great one. So I didn't necessarily grow up with comics, but I grew up with a lot of movies. And so I'm a millennial. I had X-Men, I had animated Batman series on the live action side, Aliens, anything Gina Davis, the Gurney Weaver, Gina Davis, of course. And so very strong females, female action, as well as just superheroes, right? And so mix them together. Here we have my Latina superheroes. I'm Latina. We didn't have, obviously, Latina representation, positive Latina representation. We're getting there. And so it is a mix. And it's like you said, it is empowerment at the same time. I had really strong female figures in my life, my mom, my great aunt, etc. And so it's very easy for me in that sense to draw from that. And then visually just seeing them on screen, of course, I can easily put that together and be like, here's a Latino superhero story. And so that's kind of the base of where I started from, is just, obviously the representation. Saw little sparks of it throughout, but just, not necessarily what I wanted to see growing up.
Absolutely. I think a lot of us feel that way, where that representation isn't quite what we need it to be. So you kind of create it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to. And they're not obviously doing it for us.
Laura, what about you? How has your engagement with fandom empowered you professionally?
I've always been obsessed with pop culture and film and television. And I think if you listen to Culture with My Girl, I do talk about my journey of like science and turning it into a career of journalism. And me knowing my pop culture and knowing my favorite fandoms like Star Trek and Star Wars and stuff and Doctor Who, how I met many people here that I love so much. And I use that as a way to talk about the issues within those series and TV shows and movies. And I am able to like get my career in journalism regarding television and film because I got these fandoms and I really broke it down on the mental health, about psychology of it, and inclusion and race and different topics that are important to me. So I was able to utilize my science background into this like field and kind of move forward with my career because of my love for the shows and TV and film. So yeah, it's been amazing because like I didn't know that my obsession could become something like this, and I could be really like active in it. So yeah, you can read my stuff. It's like read more. I need more SEOs. Thank you.
Victoria, I'm gonna throw that same question to you. How has it empowered you professionally?
I think it's been my magic sauce and my fuel for everything I do in entertainment. I don't think it's a secret that the film and television industry is highly competitive, if not completely cutthroat. And I think having genuine passion for the artists and the properties that I'm engaging with is one of the things that could set me apart. And it was something I had to learn because I worked for the Ghostbusters franchise for 5 years. And I at first was like, hide it, don't let your enthusiasm bleed out too much. But when I would have meetings with actors I admired and they told me they were their favorite general meeting that they'd ever had, I realized that it was a superpower and not something I needed to be ashamed of. And also when you're writing a script, it's not a quick and easy process. So you need that obsessive love for what you're doing to get to page 100, 110, 120 and have something to show for all those blood, sweat, and tears.
Thank you for sharing the professional side of things. We're going to switch that personal side a little bit. So Sabine, I'm going to start with you. How has your engagement with fandom empowered you personally?
Well, I mean, all of this that I do is very personal because it is literally my identity. And I'm going to start like when I was younger, being here during the time of things like 9/11 really shape you as a young person. I was like 10. And you realize that you want to change people's perceptions of people who look like you. And you try to figure out the avenues of where you can do that. And for me, as a South Asian, lawyer, doctor, engineer were the options. And so I went the lawyer route, but being in Texas, those doors got shut in my face pretty quickly. I still did what I could do, but I realized that media is such a powerful tool, such a humongous tool. And it's where everyone goes at the end of the day. We turn on our TVs or we open our phones or whatever it is. And it impacts us in some way or form. We may not like what we consume, we might not agree with what we consume, but we've clocked it and our brain has it in the back of our mind, and it's something that seeps into our biases. And for me, I wanted to make sure that the people who come after me who look like me had a safer world that they could live in, had a more welcoming world that they could live in where they could thrive, because that's what we're seeing around the world right now, is that we've been villainized in a way, we've been dehumanized in a way where people don't think that we should have the ability to not just live, but not to even thrive. And so for me personally, fandom has opened a way for all of us to come together and love something together and show that as a Muslim hijabi, I can enjoy Batman just as much as you can enjoy Batman, or I can enjoy Marvel Comics just as you can enjoy Marvel Comics. And that brings us at least into a room together like we are right now. Look at all these beautiful people, all these different colors I'm seeing right now. We're all in this room together because we love fandom. And that gives me the ability to then open the door to talk about all of these other things, because now you see me as relatable. And that's where we want to be, because we are all human beings and we are all relatable to each other. But often we forget that because we have these biases that we've been fed all our lives. So fandom has opened the door for me to be able to personally show everyone and tell everyone that, look, hey, I matter, and people who look like me matter, and we should all love and care for each other in this big, enormous, crazy world we live in.
Your costumes are amazing because you incorporate, your culture into it. And so I think you should talk about that. Like you should, like that should be like praised. I just want to let everyone know that. Your costumes are always amazing. So
Thank you so much.
Everything Sabine does is amazing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're actually here to talk about Sabine, so.
No. I am so honored to be among you guys. I can't believe it. Literally saw the lineup and I was just like, I mean, even just talking about what I was saying Laura and all the journalists that are here, all the creators, like I only get to do what I get to do as Fandom because of them. Like they create the content that I'm fangirling over, and she gets to tell me about the content that I'm fangirling over, and then we get to fangirl together over it. So like all of this is important in order for me to be able to have the platform to say or do what I need to do in order to bring out the change that I want. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I love all of you guys.
the panel is really like
we are really the portrait of fangirls.
Yes.
We're a bunch of fangirls, guys. It's real.
Jen, I'm going to throw it to you for that same question, which I am going to repeat. How has your engagement with fandom empowered you personally?
Oh, well, my relationship with fandom brought me here, which I think is unbelievable. I don't think I ever in my wildest dreams imagine I'd be sitting among friends in this industry at San Diego Comic-Con. So that alone in and of itself to me is mind-blowing. But fandom quite literally opened my whole world. Even geographically, literally my world. Before I started to get into like the cosplay community and that sort of thing, I have a really terrible fear of flying, and I hadn't set foot on a plane in 10 years, and I really wouldn't do that because of the fear. And then I started to make friends in like the cosplay community, and I wanted to go to conventions that were out of state, and I realized, okay, you're gonna have to figure out a way to tackle this in order to go to these things. And because my love of fandom and being a fangirl overpowered the fear, that's put me on a plane for the first time in 10 years and went to Texas. And for some conventions, and then I came out here for the first time. You know, it's introduced me, fandom has opened my world to people who are all over the country, all over the world, but especially who aren't in New York, which is kind of funny. Like you think New York would have a lot of people, but it's mostly one of my first really close friends through fandom. We've been friends for 15 years, all because of fandom, because of loving the same content. And it's just amazing that a shared love of something like the Hunger Games can create a 15-year friendship that is probably one of my strongest and most valued relationships that I have. She's over there. So fandom has really like socially opened my world. It's professionally, and it's given me a platform to have a voice. So it's amazing.
I'm so glad that you're here.
Oh,
you make it better.
Thank you.
And you used your platform to then give other women in this world a voice. And I think that's so important to acknowledge. Now, I'm going to go back to the professional side of things for a little bit. So, Victoria, I'm going to start you off with this one. In what ways has pop culture inspired your career path or life choices? So, options.
All of them. You know, it's really funny. I used to work on the Sony lot, which used to be the MGM lot, and I was working for a major franchise, which was amazing and really inspiring because I got to see how the sausage was made and how the fandom was literally made, and how when I was working with Ghostbusters, how we are thinking of the fans when we're working on the script and we're casting the actors and we're thinking about the toys way sooner than you think you'd be thinking about the toys. And the tie-ins and the reveals, it's all in service of the fans. But it was funny and it really, getting to be a part of making the pop culture inspired me to start making the pop culture and allow that to inspire me. I went on a walk one day around the old MGM lot, and I got this idea about Singing in the Rain and the Red Scare. And I had no idea if those two things were related. So I went home for Christmas and rewatched Singing in the Rain and checked out all the books I could about Gene Kelly at the library, and wrote a script, sent it to a manager to see if he would read it, and he said, yeah, I'm gonna go out with it this weekend. And then all of a sudden I was a represented writer, and then a couple years later I honestly on a whim, because the first time I did it, I didn't make the quarterfinals. I sent it into the Academy screenwriting competition, and it made the finals, which was 13. I was top 13 scripts out of 5,600, which is a very insane statistic to repeat. And that was a script I wrote because I loved Gene Kelly and Singing in the Rain, and I wanted to know what it must have been like to make that in a very politically turbulent time, like one that I'm living in now. And my other script that made the Love List this year, called Sculpted, everyone's like, so what was the inspiration? I'm like, do you know the 1997 animated classic Hercules? I wanted to make my Hercules, make my love letter to Greek mythology. So honestly, I could spend the whole rest of the panel talking about how pop culture has informed my life choices. A, it's my whole career, and B, what I create and how I've been able to succeed in that, again, very cutthroat field.
Laura, I'm going to ask you that same question. So in what ways has pop culture inspired your career path or life choices?
I live my life with WWJD. What would Jean-Luc Picard do? because he is someone I look up to, even with the new Picard series, because as you get older, you know, life changes. And so, but yeah, I really do, like, with pop culture, because of my career, and like how fandom affected me, I kind of shoot my shot and kind of fall off. Like, seriously, Gen Z, you guys are living your best life. I'm like, you know, they're not afraid, and they know what they want. And I'm aging myself as a millennial, but I feel like, yeah, I live in hustle culture, and like we live in where we have this idea of scarcity of like, I'm gonna take whatever job, you know, whatever I can, like any pitches and everything I can do, and like. And I pitch all my pop culture things, but I like it's so crazy because I'm like learning from hard and all this pop culture of like be strong, do your thing, and I kind of put myself out there now more. I'm going to Korea on Monday because I got into a journalism fellowship.
Congratulations!
Yeah. So pop culture, because I wrote about pop culture. And I put myself out there, and I write about K-pop, I write about K-dramas, I write about, and that's one of my other fandoms, and I write about like just different things. So I feel like pop culture has really affected my life like crazy, like because I'm really putting myself out there for these opportunities. Because man, I was like tired, and I'm like, I want this to be something for me. I love pop culture, I love talking about it, and so like I honestly. Pop culture has really changed my life, because I think if I didn't go forward with the things I love about pop culture, like writing about it and pitching and doing all that stuff, I'd probably be like doing science stuff, which is fine, which is great because vaccines are important, and you know that science is important, but I am still doing kind of like writing about it, and so yeah, like I think pop culture has really changed my life because. I'm making a job out of it, a career out of it, and things I love. And I let it I just let it lead my life where I'm like, okay, when I watch a show, I'm going to think of stuff to pitch. I'm going to watch this K-drama. I want to interview this K-pop star. I want to interview this person. I'm going to really work hard and pitch like crazy because this is what I really want to do. And pop culture has led me to so many amazing opportunities and with meeting amazing people. So yeah, pop culture really changed my life. Like, yeah.
It changed mine too, so I feel I mean, I never thought in a million years I'd be standing up here with such incredible women. My imposter syndrome right now is like through the roof. They're so amazing. Do you know how amazing these women are?
Imposter syndrome is real. Imposter syndrome is 100% real. Like, I think all of us have dealt with it and burnout too, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
because we're hustling.
Yeah, we're hustling. I'm like, oh, you Gen Z. I'm like, I'm trying to be like you guys. Like Riz and on cat. No cat.
All right, I'm going to rescue this before we go really downhill. Kaden, I'm going to bring this one over to you. Can you describe how your passion for a particular fandom has translated into professional skills or experiences?
I like that. So I'm gonna go with the Disney princesses.
Slay.
Thank you. Okay. Because I was a major part of my childhood, right? And you see it, and as a kid, you take it for what it is. But if you look back, and it's just like every girl is rescued by a prince. At the end of the day, if you actually look really bored, okay, I did a princess series, so I restudied, which is really fine. But like every one of their pets is a male. So it doesn't even matter like if it's like Aladdin, right? That's Apu, Jasmine, Raja, right? Every single animal is a male animal. And it's just like, what is that trying to teach you? That you can't have friends that are girls, even in pet form. And it's just really weird, right? If you think about it, like literally think of any animated movie, with Disney, because I'm focusing on Disney. But like, it does not exist. There is no girl. The only one possibly is Bambi because of the skunk, but that wasn't Bambi's mascot is Thumper, right? And so it's one more off. But like that's the only one that I can connect it to. It's to a female. But no, it's very important because at the end of the day, it's sexism. So like see it for what it is. There's a princess. She's the lead. Think of any male movie. They're the lead. They do not get saved by a girl, right? But here's a female movie showing little girls or any little kids. You need to be saved by a boy. You literally need to be passed out and a boy's gonna come and kiss you and you're gonna be queen now, right? And it's just like, how is that, right? Stockholm syndrome. That is you're in the forest, you walk into some cave and you start cleaning instantly for these 7 dwarfs. And you're okay with it. That is what they're teaching you. That is literally her first song. She walks in, she starts singing about her cleaning and she's cooking for the dwarfs. Okay, and it's just like, that is what they're teaching us growing up. Beauty and the Beast is the Stockholm Syndrome one. But it's just like, that is what they're teaching you over and over again. And it's unfortunate because I did not see it growing up as a kid. Because it's like, oh, it's pretty, it's nice, whatever. Like as a little kid, you don't see that stuff. But I don't know what your question was anymore.
If it makes you feel any better, I would love for you going, what was my question? Can you describe how your passion for a particular fandom has translated into professional skills or experiences?
So it translated. I was just like, yay, princesses, etc., right? And like superheroes as well on the other side. But it's like seeing it from an adult eyes, you're like, okay, what can I take from it that I liked and what can I make it better, right? Fellowship with the people who hasn't surpassed their teacher. I have Disney, right, and Pixar, and really we have really great anime and manga. We have manga, it's even better than our American system in regards to creativity. And so it's just like, how do I make it better? What can I use, and what can I bring my own tools to it to enhance it? Modern day princess stories is my pitch for my stuff. Why? Because there's no prince to save them. They literally just go on an adventure, right? And that is it. You think of Toy Story, what do the boys do? They just go on an adventure. That's so simple. Good for you guys, right? How come we don't get that as females? And that's something that I just wanted to change throughout it. Like on an extra level, it's just like Latinos, like we go to the movies, everybody knows that, right? We sell. We had the Mexican one first, and I'm sorry, I'm just blanking. Coco, yes, we had Coco. It did amazing. So they gave us another Latino movie, which is Encanto. Why aren't we a princess yet? Right? Like, where's our princess at the end of the day? We don't get one. You need to be very fair-skinned, right? Sleeping Beauty is extremely fair-skinned.
Snow White.
Snow White, there you go. Extremely, yeah,
Snow White.
Extremely, and it's just like, where's ours? Where's anyone else's, honestly? But like, Mulan, Asian, where's the Asian princess? We don't get, not we, but we don't get one. And that's unfortunate. Like, what's changed? Nothing's changed. They should have their stories as well. Everyone should have their own stories of a princess. And so that's just something that you see what's been done, great, use the good parts about it, and enhance it with your own tools that you already have in your tool belt. And so that's my pop culture mesh.
You got that? And you're changing it for everyone, which I love. Jenna, I'm going to throw that same question to you. Can you describe how your passion for a particular fandom has translated into professional skills or experiences? And Sabine, I'm coming for you next with that same question.
Well, honestly, my experience in I would say the anime world in general, period, is what kind of led me here. I really got into anime late in life in my 30s, and then decided, I wanted to cosplay, and through the cosplay community met people who were involved with Temple of Geek, and I was like, wow, I'm a writer. I would love to be part of this. I'd love to write. And all because I really liked Jujutsu Kaisen. I was a really big fan of JJK, and I wanted to cosplay it. And through that, I got involved. I wound up just wanting to put a costume on and wound up hosting a podcast. So literally all of those professional skills that I now use to bring this podcast to life are all because of anime, all because I learned how to be in media. My day job is nothing like this. So all of the entertainment and industry sort of skill sets that I've learned along the past 2 years literally go back to sitting down and watching an anime because my brother bugged me until I would watch it. He bugged me to watch anime. I was like, I don't know, that seems like... Well, growing up, it was not really popular, and I was like, I don't want to watch it. And I was 32, and I was like, okay, I'll sit down and watch Naruto finally. And he bugged me until I watched it, and thank God he did, because if I didn't fall in love with the anime fandom, I would not have wound up in the entertainment field. And as a kid, this was actually my dream job, was being an entertainment journalist. And until I started doing this, I forgot that was something I wanted to do. That was my childhood dream. And it wasn't until I had this podcast and this platform, and I actually interviewed Ashley Eckstein, that triggered the memory for me, and that I wanted to do this for as a dream, as a child. And that reminded me, as I sat there and sat back and said, wow, look what you just did. This is what you wanted to do from childhood. So it's all because of the fandom, and honestly, I'm here because I really liked anime.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So I have two very, very big pop culture things that influenced me and changed my life. One of them is Aladdin, and the other one is Miss Marvel. And you guys already know where I'm going with that, because they're so opposite of what you actually want when it comes for representation. First time I ever saw myself in anything, Jasmine, right? She had the dark skin, the big eyes, and the thick hair. And whenever you played Disney princesses with your friends, I was Jasmine, just default. So that movie growing up was it, right? It was what we had. South Asian, Middle Eastern, brown people. Even, for the Latino community, I feel like Jasmine was it, right? She was our brown girl. Yet there's so much wrong with it. The way they portrayed her. There's so much amazing with it. They made her strong. She's not a prize to be won. But then there's so much that's wrong with the entire representation of that world and the coming together of Middle Eastern and South Asian culture in such a confusing way, because I don't know if you guys know, both of those cultures are very different. Very, very different. And when you try to mix it together, it becomes very confusing. So that sucked. And also, I could never dress up as Jasmine because her clothing was not modest or culturally appropriate for my culture and my family and my parents. So I ended up always dressing up as Belle with an undershirt underneath. But things like that really were things that we had growing up. But the reason that it changed my life was because when I got married to this wonderful man up here, I found my Aladdin, except he's not a liar. See, that's another thing wrong with him. He's just a lying, and then she ends up with him lying. I don't get it. Yeah, I was like, where's that? Where's the built-up trust that happened there? But anyways, anyway, it was such an inspiration in my wedding, and so I posted the photos of it, and that got the attention of the Disney community on Instagram, and the Disney band reposted it, and all of a sudden I had people DMing me saying, "You're doing this while wearing the hijab. I've never seen this before, and this inspires me to be me, just the way I am, not trying to wear Jasmine's clothes the way she wears it. You have plenty of people doing that. But the way I would have worn, as my culture and my religion would have allowed me to wear it, I wore Jasmine colors with a Jasmine look, with the Jasmine background, with my Aladdin and my lamp and my magic carpet. And that had people going, I can dress up as Jasmine or as Snow White or whoever, but in the way I feel comfortable and I feel represented, in the way that honors my culture and my faith and doesn't compromise my beliefs. And that was the craziest DM I've ever gotten in my life. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is something that I need to be doing. And so I called out to all these brands, to Disney, to all these people, being like, hey, what can we do to bring people who look like me? What can we do to make them feel seen? What can we do to bring them to the forefront of all of these things? Because you do have Aladdin, such a huge IP, but you never use actual people from that area that you claim to represent when you're marketing it. And I called out to all these brands, and the first brand to respond was Her Universe, was Miss Ashley Eckstein, and this is way before her Universe community. And she was like, yeah, girl, let's do this. And it was incredible to see that, and that just opened the doors with so many other brands to want to work with, and I never asked them to work with me. I was just like, anybody who looks like me, and they're like, you want to do it? And that just showed me that they didn't know anybody. Like, nobody was calling out for this. No one had done it before. And so I was like, okay, yeah, sure, all right. Because guys, my background, I'm a lawyer. Like, I'm not a model. I'm not a marketing person. Like, this is not something that I was, professionally got an education in or anything, or trained in. So I was learning as I was going. And then Miss Marvel happened, and that show changed my life. Because not only did it show me that we could get authentic representation on screen, but that they would reach out to people who look like that in order to market it. And it pulled in this, I mean, come on guys, India, South Asia itself, we're billions of people. We are the second largest country populated in the world, and you have not tapped into that industry with Marvel and Disney. Why? And now that we have, and we've seen this, to see her not only get the little screen on Disney Plus, but being in the Marvels the way it was, and then the fact that I was at both premieres. Are you kidding me? Like what? Like I did not. It was incredible, because when I went to the Miss Marvel premiere, I was invited as a cosplayer, and guys, I didn't have to modify my cosplay because I was dressed up as Nakia, who's the hijabi in the show. I could just be her, and it was completely fine, and that was it. And everybody was like, yeah, you are her. And that's incredible, because I'd never had that option before, where I didn't have to modify what I was wearing. I could do exactly what she was wearing, and I was her. And that opened so much incredible doors for me, to where it not only is now that, oh, I need to be a part of something where South Asian or Muslim culture is being represented, but also that someone like me should be there in order to show that we can enjoy all the types of entertainment, all the types of things in pop culture, because we are human beings and we all like different things and we all enjoy different things. So not only can I do, something like Disney, but I also can do something in Sony, I can do something in Amazon. Like My Lady Jane came out. I don't know who's watched My Lady Jane out here on Amazon Prime. Amazing show. And I'm a huge history nerd, and so I was super excited for that. And to be invited to that event with Amazon was just incredible. Has nothing to do with me or my culture or my faith. I mean, you won't see a brown person in that show, really. But they thought that there was value in having me there and showing that I could bring that market into that show. And not only that, it was the first time I was ever interviewed on a red carpet, which was just insane. So yeah, these fandoms can open doors for you if you know how valuable these are and what you can do. So from Aladdin to Miss Marvel, that change, and hopefully we get the continual change in that, is life changing, and it's incredible. And I'm just getting started. We got a lot of work to do. But I'm so incredibly grateful for all of that.
Now, I'm going to take us in a slightly different direction, but it does tie in with what you just talked about, because things like Miss Marvel came out, and as great as it was for representation, it also brought out the other side of fandoms, which is the toxicity that we see connected to a lot of these things, right? We see it on the internet before a movie ever comes out, just based on the trailer or the name or a picture. So, Laura, I'm going to start with you on this one. And I want to know how you suggest other women navigate those toxic fandoms.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember Rose Tico, what happened to Kelly Marie Tran.
Yes.
Yeah, just Kelly Marie Tran. She's the best human being ever. And, all she did was bring joy for being part of this world, the Star Wars universe. And she's just been she's just joy. She represents joy of everything she's doing, but she got a lot of hate. Rose Tico, all this stuff. But Rose Tico was a great character. And the thing is, I know I've cosplayed her, I've defended her, I've written about her, and I got a lot of hate. And like, there's always gonna be the haters. And I just told like some people, one girl came up to me, she goes, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't have a lot of followers, and I get all this hate from people. What do I do? And I told her, like, you know, they want the attention. These people are trolls for, like, they want the attention. Like, they want the engagement. Like, I want you to talk to me. I want you to tell me, like, fight me. Just fight me. And that's what they want. Don't give them that power. You could block. You could move on. And what I told her is, find others who think like you. Find other tweets that are similar to what you said. Highlight them, retweet them, tell them, like, I agree, I love this, and engage with them, because you're engaging with your fellow peers and you're uplifting that algorithm and that person who they now are thinking like you, that I'm not alone. Like, I love Hillary Trend, and then you say, yes, I love her too, and then all these other haters can ignore that. Like, what's happened with the Acolyte? I did not engage, you do not, like, other than Manny Jacinto, like, I'll be like, yes.
Fair.
like, yes, Manny Jacinto, everybody. But no, and like, that's the thing, like, if just don't engage, like, they go like, oh, they ruined this, and just like, oh, and like, Manny Jacinto's arms are great, right? Like, I know not for them, I just tweet that myself. But no, that's the thing, if you don't engage, you just keep highlighting what you love, because that's your page and that's their page, and they're coming on your territory. So all you have to do is just block or ignore, and then uplift the other voices that are just like yours.
Uplift.
Yeah. Jenna, I'm going to ask you that same question. How do you suggest women navigate those toxic fandoms?
You know, I never really have a large account. I don't have a very big following, so I was lucky enough to kind of avoid that just by default, just de facto, that there wasn't enough interaction on my account to really, experience that. But in the fall, I actually had it was a TikTok and a reel on Instagram, and it kind of blew up. And Chelsea, my friend Chelsea, was in it, and it blew up because I'm a plus size cosplayer. And the hate that came out of that was crazy. And just like Laura said, these trolls come out of nowhere just to want to fight. And that was the first time I really personally experienced like the toxicity of fandom. And like, you see some hate comments here and there, even with a small account, and I'll just delete and block. It doesn't bother me. But when something blew up and went kind of viral, it's hard to ignore or to keep up with the amount of comments coming in or the amount of negativity coming at you. So that was my first experience of it, and it was really hard to navigate because I just didn't know what to do. It was trial by fire. Luckily, I have an amazing support system, friends, and they're quick to either shoot down the trolls or to just remind me, oh, don't even engage with that. Like, this is stupid. And I know it, you know it in your head, but when it's coming at you personally, it's impossible to ignore, even if you're the most confident person in the world. So I really think that, like Laura said, you have to cultivate your space and like uplift other people, and that's what my surrounding group of friends did, and that's the key, I think, to navigating these toxic people who just want to bring out the worst in somebody.
I was asking, I pissed off the BTS ARMY. And I'm ARMY, but I pissed them off. And that's really the scariest thing ever. So what I did was I gave my account to my friend. And I had her manage it for the next a week or two. Because they are crazy. And I'm one of them, but they're crazy.
Wow.
And yeah, like viral things like that. Like, you just need to thank God for a good support system.
Right, and and then like last night I'm thinking, like, I was at the Her Universe fashion show and there were so many plus size models, and it was like, if I were a kid watching that, it would have changed my whole trajectory of my life. So as an adult watching these amazing women walk the stage, and these plus size women, I'm like, we exist. Like, I don't know what else to say.
You exist and you're fabulous.
Yes.
It says more about them than you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also always remember, thieves don't break into empty homes. So you guys have something to offer, right? If it was lights out, you guys
Something
aren't
valuable.
doing anything valuable.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you spoke up a little bit because this next question is for you. That was a trap. How can we create a safer and more responsive space within fandom for women?
By just doing it. I mean, it's really just that it's just that simple. You think of a white guy who's just like second guesses himself when he writes anything? No, absolutely not. No, but seriously, they don't, right? Because they're not going to get they're not going to get harassed or anything. They're just going to do it, and that's the exact same thing. I was really lucky. I grew up in two matriarchies on each side of my family, so like I didn't know I was oppressed until after I graduated college, which is actually pretty cool. So I'm really hardcore in like equality. Right, because I didn't know that I was so oppressed as a female, as a Latina, as a lesbian. Like, I'm literally oppressed. And, and there's obviously more marginalizations, and I'm not, there's a ton. But it's just, I did the dishes one week, my brother did the dishes one week. Very, very simple stuff, but like, and you hear other people talk, and you're just like, how do I do this without getting somebody mad? It's just do it, like, who the heck cares? Right, but I was just raised that way, and so I'm very fortunate that I do have my voice, and I've always had my voice. I've never had imposter syndrome or any of that other stuff, because I was never given it or learned it as a kid. And so I have more to give for that reason as well, because it is more my responsibility because I was raised that way. But no, just absolutely do it. I mean, there's haters. Haters will always find something to hate. Oh well, who cares? At the end of the day, you're doing it for you. You're doing it to open the doors for the people behind you. Stand on the shoulders of giants, right? Like, people open the doors for me. I very much know that as females, as Latinas, as lesbians, like as everything, everyone's opened the doors for me as much as that they could at that time. So me, where I'm at, I have to open the doors for the people right now and the people behind me and, younger than me. And so it is my responsibility to fight and to do something about it.
And we appreciate that you're taking that responsibility on. Now, Victoria, what advice do you have for other women looking to find strength and purpose through fandom?
It's a great question. I think for me, the most important thing is don't be ashamed of it. I think for the first amount of years of my life, I was so ashamed for loving something so much. But then when I went through grief in a really traumatic, major way, it was such a comfort to know that Peter Parker went through that as well. And then he became Spider-Man. I'm sorry, Spider-Man's favorite movie of all time. And I think for me, it's been such a journey of allowing myself to love and to mind that. And so I think my biggest thing is just, again, it's like Kaden said, just do it. Give yourself permission. And also, I think it's been really interesting being on the other side of it is, as a creator, that's what the creator wants and hopes for too. So it's just like, let yourself enjoy it and marinate in it and let it consume you and find what you need from it. Because I can't imagine a bigger compliment or a more fulfilling thing that someone found strength through my silly little scribbles on Final Draft. So I think just, again, give yourself permission and embrace it fully and don't have any shame about it.
Yeah.
And Sabine, I'm going to ask you that same question. What advice do you have for other women looking to find strength and purpose through fandom?
Be authentically and entirely, completely you. Because you are the best you. And no one else can be you, and no one else can be a better version of you. No one else can tell you how to be a better version of you. You're the only person who can. You're the only person who knows you. So if you are authentically you, not what's trending, not what someone else says you can do because you want the views or whatever, none of that matters. Because guys, I'm telling you, I don't have that big of an account, none of that stuff, but I'm getting the opportunities because people like me, which is crazy. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
Come on.
But they like you. It's you, and you only know how to be you. And when you are you, you don't have to try to pretend or keep it straight in your head how you did this or how you did that, because you're just you're just out there living your life. And when you show the joy that you have and what you are doing, people want to see that. Because right now in the world, there's so much stuff that's not joy. And when people want to follow it and then choose to select joy, which is often the thing, people want to see joy, they'll see your joy coming through the screen because you actually enjoy it. You're not just doing it because other people are doing it. You're not just doing it because somebody told you that it's the cool thing to do. You're doing it because you love it. So my first thing is be you, and second, do what you love. I have this saying is wear your heart on your long sleeves. Okay, put it on there, wear it, rock it. I mean, I go to Taco Bell often, once a week, and I'm wearing Fandom usually because I'm just running out the door and I'm always wearing Fandom. And every single time, the person who's handing me my order will say something about something I'm wearing, and all of a sudden now I've made a connection, a real human connection with that person. And then they'll give me some extra hot sauce, or they'll give me another drink, or some. So it's that human connection that I've made with all of these people that I'm making with you guys right now. That is what we live for. That is what the meaning of life is. Like, we're making that human connection, and we can only make that if we talk about or be in love and show what we love openly and outwardly. And for my POCs out there, I know there's a lot of pushback. I know there's a lot of difficulties. I mean, just being women first is hard, and then being POCs is even harder, and then being openly afraid is even harder. And there's those layers, and I understand that, and I'm there with you. But please, I'm begging of you, be out there, because if we're out there collectively together, no matter what we look like, there's strength in numbers, and there's this idea that, okay, we can talk about Star Wars, right? Like, I feel like Star Wars or like those kind of fandoms that have the toxicity, there's a certain type of personality, the person that is that toxicness. And if we have all of these other people bringing the positivity and retweeting all the positive things, you're gonna drown out the negativity. So just keep doing you, the best version of you, and it doesn't have to be pop culture. If you love science, or if you love medical field, or whatever it is that you love, just do it, because there aren't enough of us there. Believe me, especially in the medical field. Like, guys, I need women actually researching this stuff and telling us, because I am growing older, and I go to the doctor and she tells me she doesn't know. Like, I'm getting I don't know answers from my doctor. I mean, guys, come on. Like, I want you to be passionate about this stuff so that we can help each other in every aspect of life, not just even pop culture, because we deserve that as women. We are half the population or more. And so, yeah, so please, I want to see you. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to cheer you on. I'm your #1 hype girl. Please. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I don't have sleeves.
I can't wait.
I don't have sleeves.
I just want to say Sabine literally chose our podcast to be the first ever podcast that she came on, and within 5 minutes of talking to her, she's like, I'm going to be on Portrait of a Fangirl with Jenna Wren, and she's fangirl over me and made me feel seen, and it's an amazing feeling, and I completely think everybody should be
the
like
#1
that.
hype girl, you know.
No, every time you're like, I'm like, oh, I love you. Bitch, I love you.
That's our DMs. Those are DMs to each other. Those are DMs to each other all the time. Like, every day.
Somehow we have made it to the end of this panel. It went so fast. I have so many more questions. But please remember that all of these women have spoken on Portrait of a Fangirl. So if you want more from any of them, we all had one-on-one interviews with Jenna where we poured our hearts and souls out. But for social media, just starting at Kaden and work our way back, where can people find you?
So the rest of this week, and I am downstairs artist Ellie 10 on my socials. Is my Instagram is Latina Superheroes. Also my TikTok is also Latina Superheroes. Website is latinasuperheroes.com. Thank you.
You can find me victoriamale.com. My last name is spelled A-L-E. I am at Victoria Male on Twitter because I refuse to call it X. And then on Instagram, Victoria Male, the #1.
I am across Instagram and TikTok at Chaotic Good Jenna, and you can find me on templeofgeek.com, on my author page, and on Portrait of a Fangirl.
I'm your girl Sabine Fahim, and you can find me at the Hijabi Founder on across all social channels: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, and whatever it's called. But yeah, I'm at the Hijabi Founder.
You can find me. This is funny. So this would be my Instagram, not my Twitter, and this would be my Instagram. But no, it's L3. I also brought Pedro Pascal photo cards.
Yes, I want this. I've been wanting this.
That has my information on there too. So you'll see it says I'm your cool slutty daddy. So that means material, keep it because it's Pedro Pascal. And if you ever throw it away, shame on you for throwing away Pedro Pascal. So yeah, if you want to come up and get just a photocard of Pedro Pascal, it has good information on it too. But
Amazing.
yeah,
It has good information too.
yes.
Oh yeah, we're all gonna take one. Husband, don't look. I'll get one for you too, don't worry. And I've been Alex Catherine. You can find me at AlexyGalaxy, ALIXY, and you can also find me at Perception Studio and The Welcome Party. Can we get a round of applause for these amazing panelists? And then I also just want to do a quick shout out to the volunteers because that's the reason these panels exist.